Hi everyone, this is Tuplex. Welcome back. Now that we've got at least a little bit of iron flowing into our system again, I want to start making robots so that we can get more smelting lines made. I refuse to build these manually. We're going to get the bots to do it. So, to begin with, there are two types of robots. You've got construction robots and logistic robots. Construction robots are the ones that I want to get first. They will pick up items from chests, from the special logistics chests. We've got providers and storage chests. I'll get into those later. They will pick up items from chests and then they will place them down where they've been ghosted. They will also attempt to repair any building or structure that has been damaged, assuming that they're within range. So those are the ones that I want first, so they can help us build the rest of our factory. The other one are logistic robots, and logistic robots essentially move things from one chest to another. So they, basically they help move things around the factory, whereas the construction bots will help build things. All right, so we're going to start with construction bots, and those take green circuits plus flying robot frames. The flying robot frames take steel, they take batteries, which we don't have yet, electronic circuits, and electric engines, which we also don't have yet. So we're going to have to make batteries and electric engines in order to get this going. So let's start with the batteries, which require iron plate, copper plate, and sulfuric acid. And my calculator tells me that we need 2 machines making batteries. But I think I'm going to double that, and we'll go with 4, just so we have some extra capacity. All right, so iron plate, copper plate, sulfuric acid. Where would be a good place to place these things? We've got the acid. Here we go. There's the sulfuric acid. So maybe right up here wouldn't be a bad spot to do the batteries. In fact, I could put some copper on this belt, which I have broken. I've stopped making grenades. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to steal the copper from the end of this belt. Let's just go straight up like this. I don't think I need that anymore, do I? That one I do need because that's spanning that gap. There. So now I've got a line with iron and copper. I'm going to need 4 chemical plants. 1, 2, 3. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And let's see. 2, 3. If I go 3 away from this belt, I can feed it like this. And then I'll have room to bring in the acid like that. Okay, and then let's double that. Let's make sure that's going to be fast enough. Yeah, we've got a 4-minute cycle time, so one inserter bringing those plates in will be more than enough. Okay, and then 1 inserter each coming out. And then what we can do is, whoops, we can do something like that. And that way we'll fill both sides of the belt. Okay. So let's throw a pump on the output of my tank here. All right. And as they used to say in my son's preschool, easy peasy shampoo squeezy. I'll throw a light there and a light there. Okay, we got batteries. That was easy. Now I want to get the batteries down to the bus. And we're going to be making electric engines, which require engines. Let's see here. I think I want to make all that stuff down there. All right, so let's get the batteries down on the bus. Whoops. Right there. Okay. All right, I've got a little gap here. All right. So let's go there. All right, and then in this case, we can actually do this in a simpler fashion. Let's pick all that up. We'll just go like that, and like that. Oops, there we go. Okay. And then we run this straight down. I think I'm going to need to get more belts here pretty soon. Okay. Okay, so here come the batteries. Let me go grab more belts. I think I'm doing okay on inserters right now. I'm going to craft some more blue ones, some more red ones. Okay. Oh, I'm full. Yeah, I still have a lot of rail on me. I'll throw the rail stuff in there for the time being. We don't really need that at the moment. Okay. Now, electric engine units take the regular kind plus some green circuits plus lubricant. Okay, and the calculator says that I need 3.5 of those. Well, it says that I need 7 flying robot frame assembler machines. And it's telling me that because those are used in one of the science packs, the one we haven't researched yet. Right? That takes 1 flying robot frame. So we're going to need these robot frames. There we go. And there's a new feature now. If you shift click over here, it'll automatically add it to your research queue, which is very nice, actually. All right, let's start researching some of that stuff. Personal laser defense is really nice to have. Okay, yeah, nuclear is almost researched already. So we're well ahead of where we need to be in terms of our research. We're researching stuff that we don't even have the ability to put to use yet. Okay, so as I was saying, my calculator says that I need 6.7. All right, we'll round it up to 7 machines making flying robot frames just for science packs. But obviously I want to be able to make additional ones for the bots. So let's double that. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, tell you what. Regular engines, it said that I needed 14, and I have 20. So I don't quite have double capacity on engines. But if I need 14 for science packs, that means I have 6 of these available for other stuff. Yeah, so let's make the 7. All right, let me back up a step. It says I need 3.5 machines making engine units. There's a 1-to-1 ratio between electric engines and the regular engines because they both have the same crafting speed, which is 10. All right, so if I have 6 extras, that means I can have 6 extra machines making electric engines, which means I can have 12 extra machines making flying robot frames. Okay, so let's make 6. Or no, I want it to be 6 plus the 3 plus the 4. All right, so it's 10. It's going to be 10. Sorry if that's confusing, but I just want to, I'm just making it so that I'm kind of balanced to the amount of regular engines that I'm producing. Okay, and I'm going to rotate these so that the fluid comes down that side. And we also need engines and circuits, which we can put on a single belt. Okay, so kind of like we did with the batteries. Whoops. I'm just going to run a straight pipe down here. We're going to leave a space. And then we'll have a belt going down there. And we can feed them all this way. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a splitter right there. To get our engines brought over. And then I'll bring circuits down onto the other side of the belt. Like that. Okay, and I'm putting this splitter after. I guess I don't really need that right now. I was going to put that splitter after to rebalance these 2 belts, but this one is already doing that, so I don't need another splitter there. Okay, so that'll give us what we need to make the electric engine units minus the lubricant. That doesn't quite reach, so let's do this. Okay, and I'm going to run the lubricant along this bottom part of the bus. Whoops. All right, and lubricant is way over there, so I think I'll bring it down. I'll bring the lubricant down like over here. Okay. All right, so let's get another pump. I've got some water there. Am I going to be able to jump across the water? Nope, not quite. I do have some stone. I can make some landfill. Let's reduce the size of that to 1 tile. There we go. All right, now we can jump across. Okay. All right. There. Now we got lubricant. And I screwed up. This is too close. Okay. So we're going to kind of fix it this way. And then we'll add those two that we removed up there down to the end. There we go. Okay. All right. So now we'll be making engines. Okay. So flying robot frames take one of those electric engines. They take batteries, steel, and electronic circuits. Okay. So that's 4 items. That means we're going to need 2 belts and 2 sets of inserters to feed it all in. And you'll notice that the crafting time on these is 20 seconds, which is double the crafting time on these engines. So that means that we need twice as many machines making the robot frames as are making the engines. Okay, so we've got 10 engine makers. That means we're going to have 20 robot frame makers, if that makes sense. And I should probably have a turret or 2 down here. Just in case I need more ammo. Okay. You know, since I'm so low on resources right now, I'm just going to stop the research. That way we'll stop building science packs. Okay, let's craft some more assembly machines. I need gears. Yeah, see this line of iron is not making it very far anymore. Let's get some gears. And I'm going to steal iron plate from the belt. There we go. And let's steal some green circuits. Oh, I'm short on steel. Okay. That'll give us plenty. All right. And then, you know, at some point soon we're going to need to build a mall. This is probably the longest I've ever gone without making one, actually. Okay. So for these, I think what I'm going to do, 1, 2, 1. I'll leave 4 spaces, and that way we can have 2 sets of belts there. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That's 4 spaces, 3 plus 1. And then 10 there. Okay, and these are all going to be making flying robot frames. Okay, and these belts should actually be going this way. Okay. So that'll be on the output as well as the first set of belts. Okay, so we'll be outputting the frames onto the outside, as you can tell. All right, and then that's to pull ingredients from the far belt. Okay. Now, if I use medium electric poles, I can cover both sides with a single pole. So let's do that. I'm just going to click and drag, and the computer will figure out where they need to go. And I'll toss lights in between. Okay. And then after that, I'm just going to use the regular electric poles because they're cheap and I have plenty of them already. All right. Yeah, so I'll run down this way with the robot frames like this. Whoa, I'm out of belts again. All right, let's go get some more belts. Now this is going to start off a little bit slow because I'm not getting a lot of engines out of here because our supply of iron is fairly low. So I might hand feed iron over here just to speed things up. Okay. There we go. Let's power that up. Okay, so now we just need to feed this thing. All right, so the electric engines, we can just come over and side load like that. And we need green circuits as well. So let's see. Yeah, actually we can. There, we can do that. So we got green circuits and engines. Okay, and then this one will be batteries and steel. Okay, so that'll be for the batteries. And this one will be for the steel. Let's see, 1, 2. There. Okay, I've got some batteries in my inventory already, so I'll just dump some of those. I've got engines, so let's drop off some of those. Okay, and now we're making flying robot frames. Perfect. All right, now I'm going to put a splitter right there. And I'm going to set the output priority on this side. So this is the belt that I'll use to feed robot frames. Oh, you know what? Yeah, that's okay. This is the belt that I'll use to feed robot frames to the rest of for the science packs. And then this one I'll use to make the bots themselves. Okay, so I'm going to have 2 machines making bots. 1 for each type. Again, right now I only want construction bots. Okay, once this part of the belt fills up, they'll start to come over here. All right, and then for that, we need green circuits for construction bots, and we need red circuits for logistics bots. Okay, and for now, I will have these go into chests. Actually, let's do this. And we don't even need to do that. Okay. One more change here. Okay, and I'm going to make 1 Robo port, the first of many. All right, so this is going to be a combined belt of red and green circuits. Okay, and then there we go. Okay, and I'm going to pick this one up because I don't actually want to make any logistics bots just yet. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that RoboPort right here. Okay. So the bots are now being placed directly into the RoboPort, which is where they need to go. Okay, so what happens there? If you look at the tooltip, you can see that Down at the bottom, it says number of available robots. We've got so many construction bots and so many logistics bots, right? And these should be fast inserters. Okay. Now this will just keep adding robots either until this particular Robo port gets filled up, or or you run out of production. So I don't want an unlimited quantity right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place a circuit wire, and I'm going to put that on the, I want this on the output. Yeah, I'll put it on the outputs. Okay. Now if I click on this Robo port, mode of operation, read logistic network contents or read robot statistics. That's what I want. I want to read the robot statistics. And then this is going to give me 4 signals. It'll tell me how many logistic bots are available, the total logistic bots in the network, construction bots available, or total construction bots. Okay, so I'm going to go with total construction bots and the signal there is T. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to tell this to run as long as T is less than, I'm going to go with 250. Okay, so this will keep running until we have 250 construction bots in the network. And logistics bots, we could say, I don't know, what's total logistics bots? Y. Yeah. And maybe I'll make that 250 as well. Okay, but I'm not going to enable it yet because right now I only want the construction bots. Okay, so now that we have construction bots, let's put them to work. Now, if I hover over this Robo port, you see 2 big regions. There's the orange region and the green region. The orange region is where the logistics network is. Okay, so if you want to use logistics bots to move material to and fro, the chests that they're working with have to be all within range of that orange square. Construction bots have a wider range, and they'll pick up and build anything that's within the green square. Okay, so we have to make sure that we get all of our mining or all of our smelting area within the green range. Okay, and I'm going to need to build a bunch of Robo ports because we're going to have to, you have to string them out throughout your base, kind of like you do with power poles, in order to make sure that these are all in the same zone or the same coverage area. Okay, so when I go to place down a second Robo port, you can see that it links up with the first one. And to have this all be the same part of the same robot network, the orange sections have to be touching. Okay, if they're not touching, it'll treat them as 2 separate networks. They won't be able to see what's inside the other one, and it's not going to do precisely what we want it to do. All right, so I'm going to place that one. That's obviously closer than it needs to be, but I just need to make this work. This one I can move farther out. We have to make sure that they're all powered. They charge up initially, and when they're charging, they consume a lot of power, right, until that electricity bar gets full. So you just have to be careful that when you're placing these things down, you just want to make sure that you have enough power to keep them charged. If you put down a bunch of them all at once, you might end up with a brownout in your base. Okay, so now the first part of these things is being covered. All right, so let's make sure that we at least get the iron smelting lines covered by the robot network so that they can start building. All right, so what I'm going to do, let's just do it like this. I'm going to put one right there. And that's enough to, that covers the whole smelting section. And I think we'll put one down here too, right in the middle of the copper. Okay, and then we just have to make sure that they get some power. Okay, now down here you see a warning now. So now it says 601 objects are missing the material for construction. So what this is telling me is that the construction bots would love to build all this stuff that I've put down here, but they can't because they don't have materials, right? So we have to make those materials available to the robots, and that's what we'll work on now. So I'm going to make a couple more roboports, and then I'm going to craft a couple handfuls of these passive provider chests and a couple handfuls of storage chests. Okay, so one of the things I need are belts and inserters, which I have already up here. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to replace these chests with passive provider chests. Okay. So a passive provider chest is it's a special kind of chest that allows bots bots are allowed to take material from. Okay, they can take material from the passive providers, but they can't place material inside them. All right, so let's put a roboport there, and then we'll put another one. Let's see, right here would be nice. The roboports are 4x4 tiles, so. Okay, and now we can see, look at this. So the bots are now, they're going to grab belts, and then they'll come over and they'll start placing things in belts. They'll start placing belts down. Right, and every once in a while they have to stop and recharge. This one wasn't getting any power, now it is. You can see it's charging now. Oh, yeah, and then this one needs power as well. So let's make sure that we set that up. We can put a pole there and then another one there. Okay, so the bots will run out of charge after they've flown for a certain distance. So when you see them all gathering around the roboport, that's what's going on. Okay, so that'll give them belts and inserters, and they're also going to need a lot of stone furnaces, and they're going to need some undergrounds and splitters. Okay, now I'm not making those things automatically, so I'll use a storage chest for that. Right, and I'll put the storage chest right here next to the roboport. That way when they come to pick up, they'll be able to charge easily. And so I'm just going to put from my inventory, I'll just throw some of those items in there. Okay, there's stone, whoops. There's stone furnaces. They're going to need power poles. There's splitters. Okay. All right, so now you can see that the alert just says that we're missing construction robots. So that seems to indicate that we've got all the materials we need, but now we're just waiting for the bots to be available. And it'll take a while because there's a lot of stuff to build, so the bots will just fly around and they'll get to it in their own sweet time. Okay, so now that that is going on, what I'd like to do is let's start feeding this iron ore that we have. And I need more iron plate. I'm going to steal some from up here. There we go. Yeah, I need more underground belts. Okay, and then, yeah, this last one, I think we'll just do this way, because we got that stone stuff in the way. There. Okay, and we need a lot more stone furnaces. So let's get those taken care of. All right, so I have stone over here. So what I can do is I'll just put a machine right here. This is going to be making stone furnaces, and I will put them in a provider chest. Okay, so that way when the ones that we had up there run out, we'll be able to make some, we'll be able to grab some extra ones from here. Now, I don't want this to fill up. In fact, I only want to make stone furnaces on demand. So here's what we can do. I'm going to connect this inserter to the logistic network. Okay, so now, you'll notice if you hover over a chest, you can see the contents of the logistic system, right? And you'll notice that it's not showing any stone furnaces right now. Okay, but there is demand for stone furnace. We just can't see it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell this to run whenever stone furnaces, let's see, are equal to 0. Okay, so when the demand, let's see, yeah, so this should give us, it should only run when there's a demand for stone furnaces now. And then when they all get used up, no, I don't want it to run when it's equal to 0. Less than or equal to 0. No, sorry, greater than or equal to 0. No, that was right, less than or equal to 0. I only want it to run when there's active demand for furnaces. Or if there are none. So if it gets to 0, it'll make one more. So when all this is done, I think we're going to end up with one extra stone furnace. Okay, looks like we're running short on coal over here as well. And I think that's just because the lines are filling up for the first time. It should be okay. Okay, but anyway, you can see that these are slowly building themselves up. This will continue to go on until everything's been finished. And we now have 2 additional lines of iron. And soon to be 3 additional lines. Okay, and then we can feed this all over onto the main bus. One thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to place a balancer. One, two, 1, 2. Jump across, up and then down, down, and then up. There we go. Okay, and now our iron problems are going to be solved. Now look, I don't even have to do this. Let's hit Control C, copy a section of belts, and then I'm just shift left clicking, and then the bots will put all that stuff down too. Okay, now here's what we can do. On this top belt, whoops, something's getting damaged. I just lost a turret. All right, I'm gonna have to go fix that. We're gonna need to make laser turrets next. All right, so here I'm gonna set the output priority to go up there. So it'll pull everything that it can off of this belt. And I can put another one right there, and I can copy that same priority. And that way, if it needs to, it'll pull material off of this belt as well to get it up there. Right, and then we'll do the same thing here. But in this case, I'm gonna hit all 4 belts. Whoops, it didn't work. There we go. And I'm gonna do it again. Right here. Okay. So what it's doing here is this. What this will do is it'll pull iron from the lowest belt and move it all the way up to the top belt where it's needed to go off to the production area. And it'll just pack these top belts as much as possible. Okay. All right. Let's finish pasting this down. All right, keep those bots busy. On stuff where there's other stuff in the way, you can just shift and then click. All right. Although in this case, we need to work around some of this other stuff. Right. So now here, I want the output priority to be on the right side. Okay, so you can use these splitters to move the priority to wherever you need it to. Now down here, I need to do this again because now this belt is nearly empty. Right, so here I want to shift everything up to that belt to make sure it gets up there. And while I'm here, I'm going to grab some more ammunition. Okay, and I'm going to replace these chests with passive providers as well. They're not in the network, so I need another Robo port. All right, so that's why those are blinking, because those are logistics chests, but they're not within the logistics network, right? Remember, they have to be within the orange zone, not the green zone. So until I put them in the orange zone, the bots won't see anything that's in those chests and won't be able to access them. Okay, so now we're looking pretty good for iron. Why is this? Are we missing something there? Oh yeah, we're missing a splitter. And we're missing a couple of power poles. Okay. And I'm just going to go and place those myself. Okay, that one's easy to see. The missing power poles. Looks like there's, what, one there? And there's one more somewhere. Over there. Okay, but the power pole I'll just put in a chest and let the bots deal with that one. So we'll head back up to our thing. I'll just press Z, put one power pole in there, and that should take care of it. Right. And now we can see that 249 out of 250 bots are available. That's because that one bot is dealing with the power pole. And then once he gets back, then all 250 will be available. There it goes. All right, so that job's done. Let's see how we made out on our furnaces. Yeah, so we have one furnace additional, and it stopped because there's no more demand for stone furnaces. So we can actually pick this up now. We don't need it anymore. I'm not going to be using stone furnaces for the rest of the game. Okay, good. So we got lots of iron now. That's going to do it for today. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. If you have any questions, let me know. I know I went through this kind of fast, so I won't be surprised if you do have questions. And actually, now that that's done, I think we can, let's go ahead and turn on the production of the logistics bots. And in the next episode, we'll start to look at logistics bots, and we'll start to make some laser turrets. Now that we have batteries, we can do that. So we'll start to beef up our defenses. Thanks a lot, everybody. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.